In Mississippi, 45-year-old Michael Reis said he was hallucinating on prescription drugs when he fatally shot his wife Jennifer Reis in Biloxi on March 1, 2020. The judge, however, said that voluntary intoxication was not a defense for a second-degree murder charge and sentenced him to 40 years in prison with 15 years suspended. In Texas, Javiante Evans was sentenced to 85 years for the January 28, 2020 killing of 19-year-old Jaden Hernandez, plus 10 years because he was on parole at the time of the shooting for an unrelated charge. In July, a jury found him guilty after hearing 4 days of testimony. Evans, who was 19 at the time, brought a gun to a meeting with Hernandez, intending to rob him of marijuana. Hernandez was shot once in the chest, and Hernandez's backpack was found in a dumpster by Evans's home. In Rochester, New York, 22-year-old Joseph Rivera Jr. was sentenced to 25 years to life for the brutal July 10, 2021 stabbing of 47-year-old Heather Majors. Rivera stabbed Majors at least 77 times with a hatchet inside her apartment. She survived for 2 days at the hospital before succumbing to her injuries. In North Carolina, Cory Hines was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for the shooting death of Elliot on December 11, 2017. Hines was seeking vengeance for the death of his brother, Juwan, who was killed in an unsolved murder on November 28 of 2016. Hines fired multiple shots at a man he believed to be the killer of his brother, one of which struck in the head. Was an innocent bystander. The intended target lost a finger on his left hand. Wendy Sue Dent was sentenced to 25 years in prison for killing her partner, David Lawrence, using a cocktail of prescription drugs in December of 2015. She was found guilty in 2020, successfully appealed the verdict, was retried, found guilty again in June of this year, and sentenced to life with no parole till 25 years. In Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, a man was sentenced to 3 years after his 8th drunk driving offense. 52-year-old Thomas Forrestral was also ordered to serve 5 additional years of supervised release, pay $2,600 in court costs, and his driver's license was permanently revoked. While on extended supervision, he will not be allowed to consume alcohol or enter a bar. In his 8th OWI, he was pulled over for a defective brake light. He had an open beer can in the vehicle and failed the field sobriety test. A blood test later showed he had a BAC level of 0.13. I'm just trying to figure out why it took 8 drunk driving incidents for his license to be permanently taken away. I think after the 3rd offense would have been more than generous. In Merrimac, Massachusetts, 51-year-old William Raia was sentenced to 22 years after pleading guilty to breaking into the home of a 74-year-old woman and physically and sexually assaulting her for hours until she was able to escape and flee to a neighbor's house. Support this channel and pick yourself up some original crime-related apparel. Look for the link in the description.